Hi there, welcome. I'm Tom Noonan, Solutions Consultant. Today I'd like to show you the paperless factory simple procedure that we're going to create. Modular by design, we've got all the modules here down on the left-hand side. We're going to be going into the paperless factory. Within the paperless factory, I've got some groups that are already pre-created. It's got one called Hygiene Department. And in here, we're going to add our hygiene check. So we're going to start from a blank procedure. Hygiene by area, give it a key. This one just needs to be a unique key. So by default, we're in the designer and you have a start page and an end of procedure. Now it's designed to be very Visio-esque, so you're very drag and drop, easy to use. What you can do is if I hit this test procedure here in a separate window, it'll run the client. And the client is basically is the operational focal point. So this is what I'll be running on the devices on the shop floor for the users. But what it enables you to do is that side by side, if I select the new page here, you can see we've got new page and start. When I start the procedure or the check, you can see new page and start. And it mirrors exactly how we're designing it. We can see what it's going to look like on the device. So you can rename the pages. So daily checks. And on a page, is a group of questions and they can be grouped together by sections. By default, we've got the start there, but you can change that. Data call sign off, for instance. Now on your page, if I wanted to add questions, select add question here. Now I have standard questions that you can see. So things like text, date and time, taking a photo, scanning a barcode, etc. We have calculation questions, so these are aggregate functions. If you've got to take regular weight checks and you want to do an average of that, you could use a calculation question. And we also have some additional features there. One worth mentioning, we've got data sets. So internal data set, if you think of it like an internal spreadsheet that can hold information. So we'll come down to our standard questions and we'll add date time as our first one. So just going to give it a name. And then this one is where you just the prompt that you're going to give for the user. So please select date. And then there's some further options. One worth noting there, I can just add a little button so it sets the current date time. The next question, we'll come down to our data sets. I've got a data set called area. Give it a name, we'll call it area. And a prompt, so please select area. Now I'm just going to specify what value and display column I want. They can be different. I'm going to set them to be the same. So it shows the user the name and it stores the name. And then you can change what it looks like. So the presentation styles of each of the questions until you're happy with what looks right to you. So I'll go with the radio buttons there. The next question is just going to be a Boolean question, which means yes or no or true or false. I'm going to call it clean. And this one is the area clean. And it could be a yes or no or a checkbox. We'll add a question for taking an image or a photo. So the photos, call it image. Now you can apply annotations, which means you can draw on the photos, which is good. And then you can specify what the minimum and maximum photos are that they need to take. Now we only want to show this image one if the answer to our clean question is no. So I can apply a visibility condition. Again, really easy to use, but very powerful. We'll come down the question clean, and that's just going to toggle that one to be false, which is no. And then if I just hit refresh on there, you can see I can't see it. If I hit no, the little camera pops up. Finally, we've got our sign off. So I'm going to add a question there, just a signature question. So we'll call it sign, and then put in our prompt, please sign. So ready for just a quick run through. So we can set our current date, select our area. Is the area clean? Yes. If it's not, no, we want to take a photo. Take a photo. So we've got the Y annotation. So we can say, look, so it's gone. I'm no good at darts, if you can see that in the background. I'm trying. No Luke Littler. And then we've got a signature there so we can sign off. And then click next. And that's our procedure run. So we've just ran it through a draft version from start to finish. Very, very simple, keeping it nice and easy. We're ready to publish that. It keeps full track of your version history, so I can put some notes here. And now that's released and ready to go. This becomes read-only. You can be then working on the next iteration by simply V1 whip, let's call it, base it on the initial version. So I've got my published version on the shop floor while I'm working on a new version there. So hopefully you can see the design studio is very intuitive, very easy to use. It's very easy to get your procedures, your checks and your forms and be able to replicate those ones in shop floor paperless system. There are advanced features which I'll cover off in another video. But thanks very much for your time.